Hi, I'm John Stevenson, and we're going to be looking at Psalm 75, Thanks for God's Great Works. If we looked at the previous Psalm, Psalm 74, it is a plea for God to help in time of need. Now we come to Psalm 75, and it is praise for the way that God has helped. So we begin with the superscription for the choir director set to Al Teshet. Now, that term we've seen before. It just means do not destroy. We saw that back in Psalm 57 through 59. And then we continue a psalm of Asaph. We're in book 3 of the Psalms, and so a number of those are either by or for this priest Asaph, and then it's a song. So we're meant to be singing it. Sorry, I don't have an instrument with me, so we're just going to read it instead. We give thanks to you, O God. We give thanks. So right at the outset, this is going to be a psalm of thanksgiving. We're giving thanks to you, for your name is near. Men declare your wondrous works. So notice you hear his name, you're hearing people speak about him, and we're going to be speaking about God and how he has helped in time of need. Verse 2, when I select an appointed time, and this is God who is doing the speaking here. Now, I might not pick that up from the first line, but I do in the second line. When I select an appointed time, it is I who judge with equity. This is God. God is the one who is the judge. This is not the psalmist doing this. This is God. He is speaking. Verse 3, the earth and all who dwell in it, it is I who have firmly set its pillars. Again, God is the one speaking, and notice the Selah gives a little bit of separation for here and then the next section. So God is the judge, but notice he has already set the pillars of the earth. He's in control. It may have looked like previously that God wasn't in control when we're saying, Lord, help. And now it's seen, yes, he was able to bring a judgment about. Yes, he was able to make wrong things right. He judges with equity. He judges fairly. He balances the books, and he judges all the earth. Verse 4, I said to the boastful, do not boast. Now here is man speaking about what God has done, what he was going to do and what he has now done. I said to the boastful, do not boast, and to the wicked, do not lift up the horn. Now, when you have a reference to the horn there, I remember the horn of an animal, that was his strength. And so the horn becomes then a symbol of strength. Think about a bull or a gazelle or any animal with horns on it. That is the strength. And so notice he's applying that. He says to the boastful, do not boast, to the wicked, do not lift up the horn. Do not lift up your horn on high. Notice how he repeats it. Do not speak with insolent pride. And so the boasting and the pride are what the horn represents, in this case, on the part of the wicked. Now, you say, well, can there be a righteous one? We'll hold that thought. We're going to see that. But right now, he's speaking to the boastful, the one who thinks of themselves as so grandiose. Don't do that. Don't speak with pride. Don't be boasting, because God is bigger. His horn is bigger than yours. Let's put it that way. He is bigger than you are. Verse 6, for not from the east, nor from the west, nor from the desert comes exaltation. So notice God is acting here. Again, we're looking at God doing that. It's not from the east, not from the west, not from the desert comes exaltation, but God is the judge. You can look around to other places, but it's ultimately God who gives his favor. It is God who brings judgment. Um, it's not coming from your next door neighbors, and the next door neighbors of Israel were in these places, east, west, desert. Yeah, desert was actually in the south. But God is the judge. He puts down and exalts another, for a cup is in the hand of the Lord, and the wine foams. Now, what's this reference to? You get the idea of God putting down and exalting. He lifts one up, he brings another down. But the cup in the hands of the Lord, and the wine foams, it is well mixed, and he pours out of this. This is the picture of God's judgment. Can be a cup of wrath. Now, there are times when when God gives a cup in a good sense. I think of Psalm 23, where it talks about how my cup overflows. That's not a bad cup, But this is, in the context of this is a cup of judgment, and I can't help but think about how Jesus came and he remember how he prayed, "Let this cup, if possible, pass from me?" Because he drank of our cup of judgment. And so here's this picture of this cup of judgment. It is well mixed, and he pours out of this. Surely all the wicked of the earth must drain and drink down its dregs. So the cup of judgment that all must drink, of course, from our vantage point, unless somebody drank it for you. Okay, we come to verses 9 and 10. Verse 9, but as for me, I will declare it forever. I will sing praises to the God of Jacob. Remember, this is a psalm of thanksgiving. Even though we were talking about the wicked and the cup of wrath, he's giving thanks because he didn't have to drink of that, and because God was righteous, and he is a righteous judge who brought judgment to those who were against God and against God's people, and he can be delighted. So notice, I will sing praises to the God of Jacob. So praise to God. And then verse 10, we come back to the horns. And all the horns of the wicked he will cut off, but the horns of the righteous will be lifted up. Again, that portion of strength, the wicked and the righteous, the strength of the wicked that's going to be cut off. That's the horns. The horns of the righteous will be lifted up. God is the one who brings down and lifts up. And so judgment is promised, even though he's thanking God for the judgment that's taking place, but we're apparently not finished yet. Or maybe what we're describing in verse 10 is the bigger principle at work, besides just the local principle that he's seen in his life. And so back in verses 4 and 5, we had said to the boastful, don't boast. To the wicked, don't lift up the horn. Verse 5, don't lift your horn up on high. Don't speak with insolent pride, because the horns of the wicked will be cut off, but the horns of the righteous will be lifted up. And we noted that we have one who drank our cup, but can I say it this way? We also have a horn of salvation. Let's look at that. This is Luke chapter 1, verses 68 and 69. This is the Song of Mary. Remember Mary's Magnificat, where she sings, "Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he has visited us and accomplished redemption for his people." Here it is, verse 69, "and has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of David, his servant." Jesus is our horn. He is our strength of salvation. He has been lifted up on a cross, so that we can be lifted up in safety and in victory. He is our power.